What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be throwing this engine back together, at least as much as I can before time runs out. But I painted this block a nice silver color. It's a high heat paint, so hopefully it'll last. I took that front cover off right here, the crank seal, and it is over here. We're going to be changing out these little gaskets, well, this is a gasket, and then the seals for the crankshaft and the intermediate shaft, and then throwing that back on to the block. And then we will turn that upside down, throw our nice oil pan on there, and then hopefully I can get the head on today. I think I'll have time. So we'll be doing head gasket and the head back on and cranking that down. And I'll share all the torque specs and the bolts I bought and what tools we need, everything like that. I left this oil filter on just to kind of keep that surface clean. I will be taking it off, obviously, and replacing it, but we're going to do that oil distribution. I don't know where it's at, but we're going to put that on. This car does have an oil cooler, so we'll be using that. And then also, if we have time, these engine mount arms, we will be scrubbing those clean and painting those black and putting them back on the engine as well. So I will I'll probably do a time lapse of the seals, but yeah, I'll see you guys then. All right, so to do the crankshaft seals, we have this little metal piece here. There's a crankshaft seal and the intermediate shaft. I have a 46 mil socket and a 36 mil, and they fit perfectly over these seals. So I'm going to use those to drive it out from the backside. So I'm going to tap them out from this side forward, and then to reinstall these guys, I'm going to tap them in from this side. So I'll probably do a time lapse of that process, but yeah. All right, so there we have it. Our new seals are in. You might have seen in the time lapse that instead of using these to remove, I ended up using just a flathead. Small one came out pretty easy for the intermediate shaft, and then the crank shaft seal was quite the pain coming out and going back in, as you guys just saw. Next step, I'm gonna clean this surface because I have this gasket for it, and then I'm gonna clean the oil pan surface and then put that back on the engine over here, and then that will allow me to flip it upside down and then put the oil pan back on, and then I can flip it back over and then start putting the head on with the head gasket. So yeah, I will probably set up for small time lapse for getting that front cover back on, and then I'll probably just do a video of the oil pan, like a before and after. So I will set you guys up for the front cover, and then I'll talk to you guys after. All right, so we just got that front cover on. I had to work it around the seals, or yeah, the seals around the intermediate shaft and the crankshaft a little bit, but it went on fine. Ended up, there's some like studs that come out of the block, and I just looped the gasket around that, and it made it pretty easy to fit those bolts in. There's two different kinds of bolts that go into this. There's 4 10 mils up top, and then there's 2 13s. The 10 mils are going to be 96 inch pounds, not foot pounds, inch pounds. And then the 13s are 16 foot pounds. So I torqued those already. That's good to go. I'm going to flip this engine upside down and throw the oil pan on. And then I'll get you guys the torque specs on that. I think they're all 10 mils. They might be 8s though. I'll double check, but I'll get this set up, and I'll probably do it on a time lapse just because it's a lot of little bolts that just go into it. But yeah, I'll flip it upside down and then start another time lapse. All right, so I got the oil pan and gasket on, no bolts in it yet. The gasket was kind of all bent up. Not bent, but it's a cork gasket, so it's kind of misshaped. I ended up using some stiff wire to kind of make some guides for the oil pan, so I could manipulate the gasket around a little bit. So now all I need to do is just throw some bolts in there. I'll put that on a time lapse just so you guys can kind of see the process, I guess. But I have all my bolts right over there in that service cart, and I'm just gonna throw them all in and then torque them down. All right, so we got the oil pan on, all the bolts torqued to spec. The torque spec is 10 Newton meters. I think it's 88 inch pounds. That's what I set mine to, and it feels plenty tight. So hopefully that doesn't leak. I guess we'll find out as time goes on. But oil pan is on. I think I'm gonna start scrubbing the engine mounts and get those painted off camera, and then it'll be time to put the head back on. I also need to put the front gear back on, the crankshaft gear. I took that off so I could take that cover off and clean it really well, but I need to put that back on before I put the head on, so I can get this engine at top dead center on both the block and the head. That way I'm not trapped, like 180 degrees out and the valves end up hitting the pistons. I don't want that at all. So I'm gonna do some research, figure out what TDC is for the block and the head, put them there, and then probably clean up my engine arms, paint those, and then I will get back on the video once we're putting the head back on. But yeah, that should I'll do that off camera, and then I'll hit you guys back. All right guys, I got everything positioned and ready to go. I got the head gasket right here, and then I'm gonna use some of that copper spray on the gasket, just because I didn't have the block machine or the head machine, so I'm just gonna roll with that. But quick tip, if you have old head bolts, you can cut a slit in them and kind of use it as a chaser. So I'm gonna run this into each head bolt hole and clear out those threads. I obviously can't see down there, so I don't know if there's junk in there from scraping the head gasket surface or not. So I'm just gonna do that to each one, clean each one out, and then blow it out with some air. And then I will get the head gasket sprayed, let that sit for a minute, and then start the process of torquing down the head. And then I will give you guys the torque specs and everything after the fact. But yeah, that'll probably be on a time lapse. So I am just going to get going. Alright guys, and that is the head torqued to the block. It is 30 Newton meters or 22-ish foot-pounds, then 90 degrees, and then 90 degrees, and then there's your torque sequence. So you saw me do 22 on all of them just starting out, and then 90, 90, and then now we're done. So yeah, I'm going to probably clean up this head a bit. It's pretty gross looking compared to the block anyway. But yeah, I don't know if that'll be the end of the video. I'm sure I can find something to do. But basically what I'm gonna do now is these engine arm mounts, they were soaking in some degreaser, so I'm gonna end up scrubbing those and painting them and put them back on the block. And then I'll probably try to figure out what I need to do the oil relocation, or not the relocation, but the distribution block thing. And I might actually throw on the water pump as well tonight. I still got some time, so I'll figure that out. Some people say that this is an absolute no-no to take off. It's fine to take off, but it requires a lot of torque to put it back on. So I'm going to wait until I can get a belt on that to try to torque it down, just so that the pistons don't hit the valves that are already open. So I'm gonna wait on that, but I can go ahead and do water pump. It's still kind of nasty in there. I'm gonna have to flush out the system when the car turns on for the first time, and do a couple of heat cycles on it, try to bleed all that out, but should be good. I'm pretty happy with the progress today. I got the oil pan on, head on, and this front cover. So I'm gonna try to get some more stuff done. If I can find anything else to do on camera, I'll do that, but this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I got more content coming. So, I mean, this is a huge project, so I'm not going to be short on content, but also I got more Caprice videos coming up, so look out for that. I'm just kind of waiting for the weather to turn a little bit nicer. Here in Memphis, it's been freezing cold, snow, and everything like that. So if you want to see more Caprice content, it's coming. More E30 content, of course, because I mean, this is a massive project. So I'll try to film as much as I can, but yeah, this is it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.